Hi, I'm Sam, the Director of IT here at BitWizards, and I'm coming to you again with some more MITS tips and tricks. This time, though, I wanted to show you some of my tricks with Excel because we all have to use Excel regularly, and a lot of times we have to process large amounts of data. Excel does this very well. However, I want to show you a couple of the tricks that I use almost every day to make that just a little bit easier to work with the data in Excel itself. So I'm going to share my screen here with you and show you some dummy data that I have in an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to work on this together. The first trick that I want to show you is how to format this data as a table. It'll make it much, much easier for us to work with this data and to drill down. So the first thing we do is click anywhere inside the data, and we click on the top here where it says Format as Table. Now we get to pick a pretty color that we want to use. I'm going to use this nice light blue color scheme. And it is asking, do we have headers on this table? Well, I'm going to look and see, yes, I do have some headers at the top of each column that shows me what the data is in that column. And then all I do is click OK, and you can see right away that Excel has formatted this data and given me a nice color scheme. Well, there's more to it than just the color scheme. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is click in this top left corner to select all of the cells, and then I can just double click between any two cells to expand all of the data so that it fits a little bit better for us to work with. Now, the advantage of having your data in a table like this is we can now drill down on the data. In fact, I can click on one of these drop downs here for the payment type and say, I want to deselect everything and only show Visa card payment types. And then I can come over here to the country and say, well, I only want to show Visa payments in Australia. And if we look down at the bottom left of the screen here, you'll see that we now only are showing 22 of the nearly 1,000 records in this database file, in this Excel spreadsheet. And this is a lot easier for us to work with now and to drill down. And of course, we can clear any of these filters right away, just clicking clear that filter at the top, and we're right back to where we started with all of our data. Another trick that I wanted to show you, because this is very, very handy. I see people all the time trying to cut and paste columns or rows and move things around, and you really don't need to do any of that at all. It's quite simple in Excel to move columns and move rows of data around without having to use cut and paste. I'm going to show you. If I select, let's say, the price column here, and I want to move that to the end, I'm going to select that column, and then all I have to do is hover my mouse over the edge of that column of data, and I'm going to hold down Shift on my keyboard while I start clicking and dragging this row. And as you can see, I'm moving it over now to the end of the address section, and now I've just moved that entire column without having to cut and paste anything at all. Now, I may have to use my other trick again to resize the columns to match the data a little bit better, but it's a lot easier. You can do this with rows as well. You can just select a row of text, and again, hover over the edge of it, hold down Shift on your keyboard, and then you can move those data around nice and easily. And then the last trick that I wanted to show you is something that I use quite often, and that is to split the data in a column. Sometimes a column will have a first name and a last name, or maybe it has the state and the zip code, and you want to split those into two separate columns. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that very simply in Excel. I'm going to take this last column that I have here, my longitude, and I want to split this because this is set with a whole number and a decimal place after that, and I'm going to split it on the decimal point into its own columns. It's very easy to do. We're just going to go up to the top of our screen here and click on Data, and then come over here to Text to Columns. And I'm going to use the period as my delimiter. It's what's going to separate out the separate fields that I want to use. So I'm going to say, yes, I want it to be delimited. And I'm going to say, well, what kind of delimiter do I want to use? I want to use a period. That's the decimal point. And as soon as I hit next, it's going to show me how it's going to split those data for me. I hit finish, and now I have two separate columns. I have the longitudinal minutes, and I have the fractional part of it as well as its own column, which again, now I can start separating and sorting based on those numbers. So those are just a couple of tricks that I use almost every day in Excel. We all have to work in Excel. Some people are great at it, but I think we could all get a little bit better just by using this convert to tables and then convert text to columns, then rearranging those columns and rows as well. If you have any questions, if you ever need help using any of the Office products or your computer at all, just call our MITS helpline. It's 850-864-4558, and one of our IT team will help you. Or you can email us at mits@bitwizards.com. Thanks very much.